Quand je me rappelle des forêts si belles et grands horizons.
The time, April 10th, 1975. The place is the dressing room in the Bobino Theater in Paris, France. The great Josephine Baker is preparing herself for another performance of her hit show, Josephine. As she ritualistically and meticulously prepares herself, an unseen reporter from America, who is here at the scene of her greatest career triumph, to do a lifetime retrospective on her life, speaks to her. Thank you very much for seeing me. And may I ask, how may I address you?
Pardon, monsieur. But did I hear you say, how may I address you? How kind of you to ask. What good breeding it shows. So many young people your age these days wouldn't even bother with that question. Let's see. What have I been called throughout the years? There was Tumpy, which is what ma mère, my dear mother and siblings called me. There was Negro Wench, which the New York Times called me in 1936. In the 50s, I was called communist, since I refused to tolerate not being served at a second-rate shanty like the Stork Club in New York. Not after having dined in all the finest palaces and showplaces of Europe. I've been known as the Black Venus, a Creole goddess, a singer, dancer, stage and movie star, recording artist, Josephine Baker, or Miss Baker, or La Baker, or just simply, as is the title here of my show here at the Bobino Theater in Paris, just simply Josephine. And because of your good manners, you may call me that. Josephine.
Thank you, Josephine. And can you tell me, who is Josephine Baker?
Who is Josephine Baker? Mon Dieu, what a question. Ah, mon ami. I cannot truthfully say who she is. Let's simply say that she is the supreme picture of arrogance, elegance, and opulence. But she is still that tiny, dark, homely, scared little girl from St. Louis, Missouri, desperately rummaging through people's garbage cans for a scrap. Just a little scrap to eat. She is all these things and more.
And how do you feel about your comeback?
Comeback? How do I feel about my comeback? Pardon, monsieur, but that is another question I cannot answer. I cannot begin to tell you what it feels like to come back, since I have never truly been away. Waiting, perhaps, but never truly away. I am Josephine Baker, the Bronze Venus, the Creole goddess, the first woman to star internationally in her own movie, the woman who brought jazz and the Harlem Renaissance into the heart of Paris and into the hearts of Parisians in the 1920s. The first black woman to have become a world-famous entertainer. That means I have always been here, always ready to perform, ready to give my full heart, my entire soul to my beloved audience. Look at this body. bad for 68, eh? Perhaps not the same body the world lost its breath over in 1925, but still not too bad in 1975, is it? The breast, they're not so much. They've never been so much. Ah, the legs. Still muscular, shapely, symmetrical, stylish, and strong, with a panther's power. And the derriere, my legendary backside. It's still here in all its gluteus maximus glory, isn't it? For want of this backside, men have shot themselves dead at my feet. Although I shouldn't laugh at this, it is a tragedy. Oh, no, mon ami. This is not a coming back. This is a moving forward, a coming better, much better. I am pushed higher by a history that is undeniable. I have been the toast of the entire world. Kings would bow to me. Princes would fight for my attention. I have had lovers of all persuasions and, yes, sexes. I have loved men. I have loved women. I have loved so many and so much. Love that went far beyond the mere physical and romantic. Love for my children, for all children. Love for the world, for mankind. Love for both my countries. France, my dear adopted land. And for America, the land where I was born, despite the fact that for the land of my birth has always treated me as nothing more than a negress, a nigger. America has hurt me, wounded me in more terrible ways than any lover I've ever had, male or female, ever would or could. But I still love her, as I always will. Yes, I am that buck-toothed Negro wench that the New York Times called me, whose unforgivable crime was to make the world see that black wench, and if just for a moment, marvel at her, and to love her blackness. So, j'accuse, I accuse myself, and I plead guilty. Guilty of taking a starving, struggling little black girl from the St. Louis slums and turning her into the world's most celebrated artist. Guilty of going beyond my fated horizons. Guilty of making America uncomfortable, of disturbing America's peace. Guilty of not, most definitely not, ever knowing my place, but instead of ever making my place. I am ready for my next question, bien-aimé. My beloved.